There are many ways to wage war. Some prefer fleets, others, politics. The really creative ones send a virus and see what happens. The Zentari trade bloc. They went with banking. To them, it was elegant, bloodless, efficient. A simple stroke of interstellar bureaucracy and, boom, Earth's accounts were frozen across 300 systems. All transactions halted. No credits, no trades, no loans. The Galactic Bank of Rizek, the largest financial institution in known space, received a stability request from the Zentari citing economic volatility and cultural unpredictability as the justification. Earth was blacklisted. No warnings, no appeals. Just one quiet morning when every human transaction bounced with a message. Insufficient intergalactic clearance. Please contact your compliance officer. Which Earth didn't have, because Earth didn't even know that was a thing. On EarthGov's financial command floor, a sleek, glass-paneled bunker 80 meters below Geneva, chaos erupted. Alarms blared. Economists yelled. One intern actually cried when their crypto wallet flashed red. "Is this a full freeze?" asked Secretary Lena Cross, head of Terran Interstellar Finance. Her AI assistant beeped. "Confirmed. All Earth-linked accounts held in Galactic Bank Rizek institutions have been suspended." Reason? Cultural unpredictability. Cross blinked. "We survived 3 collapses, 4 debt crises, and 2 pyramid schemes involving NFTs. We invented unpredictability." The AI paused. Also cited excessive meme usage in formal negotiations. Cross looked up. "I know who we need to call." Tucked inside a fortified skyscraper in New Manhattan, surrounded by 3 holographic billboards of himself, sat Victor Holden, CEO of Apex Capital, net worth. Doesn't matter, he owns the app that calculates it. Victor had the eyes of a predator and the fashion sense of someone who paid 1 million credits for effortless casual wear. He was Earth's top financier, strategic opportunist, and the kind of man who once bought a company out of spite and turned it into a themed water park. When Lena Cross called, he was already watching the market fallout. "Victor," she said without preamble, "we've been cut off." "I know," he replied, sipping a drink labeled Cognac V 3.1. "Beautiful move, economically savage, but ultimately short-sighted." She frowned. "You don't seem worried." He leaned back, grinning like someone who had just remembered the galaxy runs on numbers and Earth runs on incentives. "Because they made one mistake," he said. "What's that?" "They froze our money, but forgot humans own their debt." The Galactic Bank of Rizek wasn't just a bank. It was the bank. It managed asset flows across 142 species, issued credit across 5 spiral arms, provided infrastructure loans to entire planetary governments who, to this day, still didn't know where the money came from. And Earth? Earth had been buying up Galactic Bank bonds quietly, aggressively, and under the radar for decades. Because while Earth loved chaos, humans loved compound interest more. Victor Holden made the call. "Get me the shell companies," he said. "Which ones, sir?" his assistant asked. "All of them." He called it Project No Refunds. In less than 8 hours, 83 Earth-based hedge conglomerates began quietly acquiring voting shares across Rizek's regional subsidiaries. Legal teams filed hostile takeover motions through 19 loopholes in galactic corporate law. Earth-based investment bots flooded the bank's public auction with buy orders priced just slightly over alien comfort levels. By the time anyone noticed, Earth owned 6.4% of the bank's equity, then 12%, then 19%. A Rizek internal AI flagged it as suspicious but legally valid. By the end of the next day, Earth controlled 51.2%. Victor Holden now had majority shareholder access to the central system of the Galactic Bank of Rizek. His first order of business? He changed the name to the People's Bank of Earth, Intergalactic Branch. Zentari diplomats scrambled. "This is economic warfare," they cried during an emergency broadcast. Victor Holden responded via livestream, reclining in a leather chair shaped like the Earth. "No, no," he said. "You started economic warfare. We just played your game. Faster." The Zentari ambassador sputtered. "You bought the entire institution." Victor raised a glass. "Yeah. With cash you forgot we were still owed from 26 trade disputes and unpaid fines." He sipped. "And a little help from our friends at late-stage capitalism." Back on Earth, Lena Cross stared at the reports in disbelief. "You really bought the bank," she muttered. Victor didn't respond. He was too busy sending push notifications to the Zentari Empire. Each message read, "Your loan repayment is past due. Please contact EarthGov Collections." And in small print, "Interest compounds hourly. Thank you for choosing PB Earth." The galaxy panicked. Other species, sensing the shift, began selling off Zentari bonds and applying for Earth-backed loans. Apex Capital became the new lender of choice. Entire trade zones realigned themselves in 72 hours. The Ryzek Central Vault AI updated its internal listing, primary controlling entity, Homo sapiens, Terran, and beneath it, market threat assessment, unpredictable, opportunistic, very liquid. Meanwhile, the Zentari gathered for a strategic economic recovery session. They called it that to avoid saying, "We screwed up monumentally." One general slammed the table. "They bought the bank." Another shouted, "We underestimated how far humans would go." A junior analyst hesitantly added, "They did once invent a sandwich made entirely of meat and branded it Double Down. Their limits were never rational." Silence. Then someone whispered, "We've awoken the apex investor." Victor Holden didn't gloat, openly. He simply updated his status across every galactic financial feed to, "Your move, lizards." Within the hour, the Galactic Stock Authority issued a rare Level 5 advisory warning. Earth now controls the central clearinghouse for interstellar trade credit. Proceed with caution or enthusiasm if you're into that kind of chaos. The Zentari weren't just furious. They were confused. "This isn't how warfare is conducted," one of their senior economic tacticians hissed. "It was supposed to be slow, crippling, subtle. Instead, Earth responded like a caffeinated accountant with abandonment issues. The Zentari had expected panic, collapse, not expansion. They had frozen Earth's interstellar accounts. Earth responded by owning the accounts, all of them. The bank didn't just process trade, it held trade. Now, any planetary alliance trying to do business had to go through a system with new branding and an all-too-familiar logo, a little blue Earth in a circle with the slogan, "Welcome to the economy, we brought receipts." In Geneva, Secretary Lena Cross met Victor over a secure holo call. "Let me get this straight," she said. "You now control galactic escrow, 2/3 of planetary debt for over 40 species, and have renamed the overdraft fees as disrespect penalties." Victor shrugged. "Branding is everything. You're turning the galactic economy into a customer service hotline." "We are the customer service hotline. We just installed hold music." "What is it?" Victor grinned. "A loop of never gonna give you up." Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council chamber, a Kravari trade minister slammed his datapad. "This is a direct economic takeover." Ambassador Thatcher, Earth's representative, sipped his espresso and leaned back. "We prefer to call it a hostile acquisition with benefits." "Benefits?" Thatcher gestured lazily. "Free checking accounts, loan forgiveness, and a pretty generous referral bonus." The Kravari sputtered. "You're undermining the very foundation of interstellar commerce." "No," Thatcher said. "We're upgrading it. You lot had transaction fees for oxygen usage. We call that predatory." He stood and added with a smile, "Also, our APR is lower. You're welcome." Earth's revenge was not loud. It was silent, calculated, brutally efficient. The new Earth-run Galactic Bank began, refunding every species scammed by the Zentari with interest, paid in Zentari currency, publishing a public list titled "Empires that Defaulted but Still Ordered Star Yachts." offering meme-based financial education tools to planets still using barter systems. Victor called this the reputation rub. It wasn't just about money. It was about shame. The tipping point came when the Zentari tried to freeze Earth's backup accounts. What they didn't realize: Earth had decentralized their reserves into hundreds of micro-investments through what Victor called hyper-hustle holdings. This included buying up rights to a galactic boy band and converting them into a hedge fund, creating a crypto stablecoin pegged to the average price of an Earth burrito, acquiring water rights to 4 moons under shell companies named Definitely Not Human Inc. So when the Zentari launched a data wipe, they got nothing but error, account currently leveraging a food truck empire in the Orion Belt. In retaliation, Victor Halden held a press conference. Behind him was a massive screen that read, "How to win a war without any weapons, just lawyers." He opened with, "Let me be clear, we don't hold grudges." Then he leaned in. "We hold assets." Gasps. And then, for maximum humiliation, he unveiled Earth's newest initiative, the Zentari Bailout Fund, sponsored by Apex Capital. "Since they're having a liquidity crisis," Victor said mock-sincerely, "we're offering relief for a modest equity transfer. Let's say 49% of their central bank." He paused. Each. Within hours, 7 Zentari client worlds applied for Earth-backed loans. Not because they wanted to, because they had to. Earth's economy didn't just recover, it pivoted. Meme-backed ETFs, cultural exports as soft collateral, a merchandise line that included, "I got sanctioned by Earth and all I got was this t-shirt apparel." The galaxy didn't know what hit it, but it was wearing sunglasses and drinking branded espresso. Danielle, Victor's executive strategist, read the new trade analytics. "We've gone too far." Victor nodded. "We passed that 5 spreadsheets ago. We're being compared to economic warfare legends. I'd rather be called a market god." She scrolled again. "Did you just apply for citizenship in the Zentari Empire?" He smiled. "They own us nothing, yet. But if they refuse my application, I'll sue for discrimination and buy their Ministry of Citizenship." She stared. "You're joking." "Not even a little." Across the galaxy, financial advisors started wearing Earth suits. Alien universities added Terran economics courses. New empires rose with Earth as silent partner, offering consulting under a program called Conquer with Capital. The final dagger? A new feature inside the Galactic Banking app. It displayed Earth's flag above all loan documentation with the phrase, "Backed by humanity, in chaos we trust." The Zentari screamed into the void. The void offered them a payment plan. By now, Earth wasn't just participating in the galactic economy, it was rewriting it. Every economic system in known space was quietly, reluctantly, and inevitably orbiting one central truth. You don't freeze Earth's money. You only delay the moment they buy you. Victor Halden had turned Apex Capital into a planetary-scale economic leviathan. He didn't have a CEO suite anymore. He had an observation deck on a rotating orbital fortress labeled Mobile Headquarters, Asset Class, Aggressive. From there, he watched as dozens of alien species, many of which had previously mocked Earth's chaotic finances, now applied for Earth-certified funding just to stay solvent. Behind him, Danielle handed over the latest bulletin. "Another 10 planetary treasuries just converted to the Terran credit standard," she said. Victor didn't even look. "Which ones? Does it matter?" He sipped his espresso. "Number not, really." Meanwhile, the Zentari scrambled to adapt. First, they tried rebranding. The Zentari Central Reserve became the Unified Interstellar Stability Exchange. No one cared. Then they tried suing Earth in the Galactic Court of Trade Ethics. Earth responded by submitting over 900 pages of counter-litigation on the grounds of emotional damages, asset distress, and sabotage of potential influencer marketing opportunities. The case was dismissed in 12 minutes. Earth's lawyer, an elderly woman named Bernice with a Brooklyn accent and a t-shirt that said "Lawyered," gave the closing statement. "Next time, Try freezing someone who doesn't already own your mortgage. At Galactic Bank HQ, the building now had a new design. The Earth flag fluttered at the entrance. The Zentari's old VIP entrance had been converted into a smoothie bar. The new slogan etched above the main vault. "Debt is delicious." Ambassador Thatcher sat across from the Krivari delegation during a tense council session. "You can't just buy respect," one of them snapped. Thatcher stirred his drink with a metal straw. "You're right. We bought the system that distributes it." Another alien slammed his claw. "You humans act like economics is warfare." Thatcher smiled calmly. "We act like everything is warfare." He leaned in. "And you picked the wrong battlefield." Across alien media, headlines screamed, "Earth pulls off hostile takeover of galactic finance." "Is your planet next?" "Earth loaned me 500 credits, and now I'm married to a coffee chain." Late-night alien comedy hosts turned Victor Holden into a punchline. He responded by licensing the jokes, buying their networks, and monetizing the reruns. Each punchline now ended with, "Brought to you by Apex Capital." The Zentari, desperate, tried economic sabotage. They tanked one of their own currencies to crash the Terran credit. What they didn't realize, humans were already shorting it. Victor Holden made 5 billion credits on the fall and immediately bought a moon. When asked why, he said, "To be closer to the stars, I keep surpassing." Danielle walked into his office with a smirk. "Congrats. We now manage 74% of the known galaxy's consumer credit and 68% of its loan infrastructure." Victor adjusted his cufflinks. "Good. That's phase 2. She paused. "There's a phase 2. He handed her a tablet. It read, "The Earth Venture Initiative. We don't just buy the bank, we fund the future." Danielle blinked. "You're creating your own planetary investment fund?" Victor nodded. "Let's stop reacting to the economy. Let's become it." The Earth Venture Initiative launched with a show of terrifying confidence. It absorbed failing starport operations and rebranded them as hyperstations. It bought out outdated alien satellite networks and replaced them with streaming services run by humans, reading stock reports dramatically. It acquired 3 sovereign economic zones and turned them into galactic tax havens with incredible views. Investors from every species flocked in. Why? Because Earth offered one thing no other civilization ever had: a chaos-proof return guarantee. At an exclusive summit hosted aboard Victor's orbital HQ, he addressed the galaxy's top financiers. "Every one of you," he said, "once believed Earth was unstable, erratic, unfit to lead galactic economics." He paused. "You were right." Smirks. "But what you missed was that humans thrive in instability, that we don't wait for systems to work for us, we build our own. And when someone tries to break us," he raised a glass, "we buy their tools and run them better." The crowd cheered, even the aliens, especially the ones who had defaulted to Earth 2 weeks ago. The Zentari gave one last speech at the council. "We demand economic independence." To which Earth responded with a friendly offer: "Buy 1 loan forgiveness, get 1 free." They accepted, in silence, then applied for the Earth Debt Rehabilitation Program. It came with free T-shirts. The Earth Venture Initiative wasn't just reshaping galactic finance, it was replacing it. One by one, previously independent systems fell into Earth's economic orbit. Not through violence, not through conquest, but through affordable APRs, flexible loan packages, and terrifyingly human customer service, which in most cases included snarky bots named Chad, who asked if the client had tried reading the fine print before starting an interstellar tantrum. Victor Holden watched it all unfold from his orbital headquarters, wearing a robe made of silk and shareholder confidence. Danielle entered, reading from a datapad. "Well, the Zentari just defaulted on their education bonds. Again." Victor didn't look up. "How many institutions?" "All of them." He paused. "And we now?" Own 62% of their universities. Victor nodded. Let's roll out our own curriculum. Danielle blinked. Wait, are you saying we're going to teach them how to be more like us? Victor smirked. We're going to teach them finance, and then charge tuition. Zentari Prime, the once glorious homeworld of the empire that tried to bankrupt Earth, was now home to the Holden School of Interstellar Business and Meme Economics. It opened with a ribbon-cutting ceremony where Victor personally sliced the ribbon with a black credit card. The curriculum included late-stage capitalism, from surviving to thriving, weaponized branding, 101, how to sell galactic chaos as a lifestyle, emotional blackmail for fundraisers, a human approach, and the flagship course, How Not to Get Bought by Earth, Too Late. Across galactic media, Earth's rise dominated the headlines. Earth now owns the bank, the bond market, and 3 moons. What's left? From default to domination. How Earth turned debt into diplomacy. Zentari Empire loses trade authority, gains free tote bag. The new tote bags, courtesy of Apex Capital, featured a smiling Victor Holden and the words, "You froze our assets. We liquidated your legacy." The final blow came not through money, but through merchandise. EarthGov launched a platform called TerraTrade, an economic streaming service where people could watch financial takeovers live. The biggest premiere. The Zentari Liquidation Show, Season 1, Episode 1, Assets, Please. Narrated by Ambassador Thatcher, the show followed real-time legal repossessions of Zentari-owned starports, mining colonies, and a surprisingly profitable chain of luxury bidets. Viewer comments included, "I love when the repo team shows up with lattes. Earth's economy is a sport now. I'm here for it." They made fiscal collapse entertaining. Danielle checked the revenue sheet. "Victor, we made 8 billion credits in ad revenue yesterday." He nodded. "People love a comeback." "You mean conquest?" No. Conquest is messy. This is receivership." Back at the Galactic Council, the Zentari delegate finally broke. "You can't keep doing this," he screamed. Ambassador Thatcher calmly cleaned his glasses. "We can. You're eroding centuries of financial sovereignty." Thatcher looked up. "Your sovereignty is in our ledger now." And then came Operation Final Balance, Victor's last play. He offered the Zentari Empire a choice: file for economic sovereignty bankruptcy, lose all public credit ratings, and be downgraded to risk factor pity. Accept Earth's buyout offer. The buyout terms: Earth would pay 1 symbolic Terran dollar, Earth would assume all debts, and in return, own everything. The Zentari Council argued, screamed, protested, then quietly voted, and accepted. At the final signing ceremony, the Zentari High Treasurer handed over their official seal. His hands trembled. His voice cracked. This is our end." Victor smiled warmly, took the seal, and replaced it with a coffee mug. "Number, this is your beginning." He turned to the camera. "Welcome to Earth's economy." Flashbulbs flared, and just like that, the last alien empire that tried to economically destroy humanity became an Earth-owned subsidiary. Back on Earth, Victor stood in front of a massive crowd as stock tickers behind him blinked green. "Let this be a lesson," he said. "We didn't win with guns. We didn't win with fleets." He paused. "We won with interest." The Zentari Empire, once proud, once feared, once rich, was now an Earth asset. Not a client, not a partner, an asset. Officially reclassified by the Galactic Trade Authority as a special economic territory under Terran financial administration, it even got a new name, Zentari Prime, now under new management TM. The TM wasn't sarcastic, it was filed. Victor Holden didn't host a victory speech, he hosted an investor call. It was broadcast in 40 languages, with subtitles for those without emotions. Alien leaders, traders, and enemies tuned in to hear how Earth would now be managing 64% of all galactic liquidity. and introducing new features to their recently acquired portfolio of planets. Next quarter, he said, we'll be offering universal debt stabilization backed by Terran tech innovation, a retail reward system for prompt tax payments, and something we're calling Credit Karma, Cosmic Edition. He smiled. And of course, full employee benefits for all ex-imperial rulers who agree to stay on as middle managers. Meanwhile, back in Geneva, Secretary Lena Cross took a call from an alien minister who hadn't spoken to Earth in 30 years. "We always underestimated humans," the voice said solemnly. "We assumed your chaos would destroy you." Lena looked over reports showing spikes in Earth-approved funding, 27 peace treaties signed just to secure Earth loans, and a line of aliens camping outside an Apex credit center to apply for Terran citizenship by mortgage. She replied simply, "Yeah, that was your first mistake." In the Galactic Council chamber, Ambassador Thatcher took his seat. He wore the same suit as always, except this time, everyone else looked nervous. "You've changed things," one delegate said. "Permanently." Thatcher shrugged. "We changed the stakes." "You're not a planet anymore," said another. "You're a brand." Thatcher leaned back. "Then maybe it's time the galaxy learned to read the terms and conditions." Across the stars, a new wave began. Human banking apps with interfaces aliens actually understood. Marketing campaigns with slogans like, "Trust Earth, we actually pay our loans." Chaos, number that's just dynamic asset rebalancing. Debt is power, let us show you how. Alien youth wore Apex Capital hoodies. Graduates from the Halden School of Business chanted, "Buy low, orbit high" during graduation. The Galactic Exchange Commission, now headquartered in Lunar District 12, Earth. Its new motto, "We regulate less because we understand more." And Victor Holden. He went quiet for a while. No press, no speeches. Until one day, he appeared again on the cover of Interstellar Finance Weekly, standing on a beach made of crushed moon quartz, with a headline that read, "The Man Who Bought a Bank and Sold the Future." In the interview, he was asked the question, "Was this always the plan?" He answered, "No," then grinned. "But the moment they froze our accounts, it became the plan." Later, in a secret conference with Earth's leadership, Victor made one last proposal. "We've dominated the galactic economy," he said, "but there's one market left." Silence. Danielle raised an eyebrow. What could possibly be left? Victor clicked a hologram. Extragalactic expansion, new galaxies, new civilizations, new currencies. "We don't just want to own this economy," he said. "We want to own the next one." The proposal title, Operation by the Universe. And far beyond the galaxy, an alien species intercepted Earth's financial broadcasts. They watched the footage of humans smiling, shaking hands, and calmly bankrupting empires. They trembled. "They are not conquerors," one whispered. "They're corporate." Another added in horror, "They don't fight you. They buy you." Back on Earth, Victor stood before the updated Apex Capital slogan, etched in steel above the World Financial Tower. "You froze our assets. We bought your civilization." And beneath it, small text, easily missed. "Terms and conditions apply."